we can talk about racism, we can talk about sexism, we can talk about xenophobia, we can talk about anti-trans, anti-queer, and we can talk about all of these things. At the root of all of those things is harm.
Harm.
It is both the way we are culturalized and socialized in this country and other places in the world, but it is also humans who don't know how to deal with difference acting on it in a way that is harmful.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the lessons that I carry with me and that I try to offer to other people is that every person you know is different from you. And I know that when we are in groups, we're always trying to find the thing that makes us alike. And I'm not saying we should stop doing that. What I am saying is that we should stop ignoring or villainizing the things that make us different. I think we need some balance in the way we approach community. And part of what we look for people who love the same things we love, who want to be in the same places we're in, who come from generally the same backgrounds and ideologies. I think where we should be looking for sameness is in values. We should listen to and observe other people's lived experience and not discount it because we don't have a concept of what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so when I say stuff like we should, what I really mean is people who have not lived a marginalized experience need to learn or unlearn their ideas of difference and to appreciate people's lived experience for what it is. My father has an expression, you can't grow a pine tree from a cactus seed, which basically just means whatever's in you is what's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And in America, we have been trying to grow pine trees with cactus seeds for a long time. We've been saying we are the greatest country in the world. Our citizens are happy here. We are one nation under God, indivisible. But that truth only applies to some citizens. And so until that language is true for all, it's not true. So the quote, the James Baldwin quote is, I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. And I think that quote is sort of an anchor for how I view being a citizen of this country. Sometimes when we're talking about honesty, we'll say we shouldn't share our feelings when we're talking about what is real. And I disagree with that. I think that feelings are very much fact for the person that is having those feelings. And so in our curiosity about where we need to be honest, we do need to consider the feeling that is associated with what has happened. Right?
That's
The person or people who have caused the harm don't get to tell the person who has been harmed when to get over it or how to
mm-hmm.
get over or how to respond to it. We're not going to get into the oppression Olympics and who's
Yeah.
had it worse, right? But if we fail to have a conversation about the harm that has occurred to the people who are descendants of enslaved humans in America, and if we fail to have a conversation about the harm that has occurred to the descendants of people who were here before this land was colonized, called them Native American, called them indigenous, the people who were here before, if we're not going to be honest about how we got here, right? And why so many people are still left behind. This trauma that we experience is a shared trauma, right? That you cannot inflict the amount of harm on people or be descendants of people who have inflicted the amount of harm on people without that trauma having a through line in your body as well. And so there's healing that needs to happen on both sides of this equation until we decide to heal from it, then it just continues to fester and to smell.
Yeah.
And Isabel Wilkerson, who is the author of the book Cast and The Warmth of Other Suns. And in the book Cast, which was one of my favorite books ever still, I read in 2020, parts of that book are still resonating with me. And the movie Origin, which is based on the book as well. But she makes reference, Isabel Wilkerson makes reference to America as an old house. And I live in an old house. So that analogy really spoke to me, right?
Mhm.
Um, when you inherit an old house, when you move into an old house, um, it comes with problems sometimes. And you weren't the person who built it. You didn't live there first, right? You did not create these problems, but you live here. And you can let the roof leak on your head, or you can fall through the hole in the floor, or you can fix it. So I really appreciate that idea of how our country is this old house that we've all inherited and that we got to coexist in. And either we can repair the things that are damaged, or we're going to live with it how it is. And it's just going to get worse if we don't fix it, right? If you've ever had a leaky roof, that you did not repair or did not repair timely, the hole just gets bigger. The other person whose work I reference is Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo goes into people's homes, into their spaces, and helps them organize the stuff. She walks in and asks people, what of these things is bringing you joy? And she asks you to either hold on to the things that bring you joy or to bless them and send them on their way. But the beginning of that process is taking everything out.
Yeah.
It's a thing I invite people to do when I work with them, is to look at all your stuff. There is more to the story no matter who told it to you. And you should stay curious about what else is missing from the story.